All right, good afternoon. This is The Heartbeat, a Hometown Media Stettler production, and it is brought to you by Hometown Productions and Media. We are proud to offer local news on this platform, and we're doing something a little bit different today, too. We are going forward with broadcasting live on Facebook as well. We know this is a Facebook community, so we like to share the news as far and wide as we possibly can, and YouTube just wasn't quite cutting it. So we are restreaming on Facebook now as well. So if you're watching on Facebook, thanks for joining us. It is The Heartbeat. We do this podcast every couple of weeks, live from our little studio in our office on Main Street in Stettler. Afterward, we'll have this episode uploaded to our Spotify account as well if you like to listen while you're cleaning or doing the dishes. Also, that is an option. I'm Alex with Landin Chambers, as always, and coming up, we'll have Chad Dalsin in to talk about the Hike For Hospice, which happened recently, and Landon will talk to him in just a couple of minutes. First off, Landon, how are you feeling after the Ducks quack, quack, quack took out the Oilers?
You cursed us, you know that?
How did I curse you?
By quacking on the last podcast.
Yeah. Well, I had to quack a couple of times.
It's not like you got a lot to cheer for.
No, I don't. We'll get to that in a second. How do you feel about your Oilers now?
Well, I'm going to need something to do this next few weeks, thanks to them removing themselves from Lord Stanley's competition.
Yeah. Their team, their play, what do you think? What's going to happen going forward? How long are they keeping McDavid for?
Oh, here's the thing.
Do they get to 2 years?
Yeah. We're going to have to see what happens this offseason. I hope we don't have to deal McDavid or Draisaitl to fix the team structure, but looking like it could be a possibility. They both called out management, saying we took a step backwards. I wholeheartedly agree.
They were kicked out in the first round.
Yeah,
That's backwards.
Yeah.
The last 2 years was the Stanley Cup final, so yeah.
I do think that's the last time they're going to do that publicly, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's they'll just ask to get traded if they don't like the direction. When we hit October, you watch after Marner walked from the Leafs there. Teams want to get something back for their stars, so we'll just see what next year brings. And it comes down to goaltending. I think Ingram played his heart out. Jari probably needs a fair look in the fall. Bring a guy in mid-season, and we're a new home. We'll see what's out there in the summer, but it's going to come down to the goaltending, I think. So,
are Oilers fans sick and tired of hearing that word, goaltending?
Yes.
And I like McDavid's new nickname from us Flames fans, Mick 11 years and no cup.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thought you'd go with something a little shorter, like McScuses or something.
That's a pretty good one. Either way, yeah, Oil Country was not pleased, hey?
Oh, it hurts because it almost feels like it might be Father Time.
Yeah.
Is it the window closing? Should we have won one of those cups against the Panthers? We'd feel much different, I think, right now.
Because now really the trajectory is seemingly going downward, not up as it was before.
I make fun of you for having the 6th overall pick, but I pick 52nd.
Yeah. And the Flames, they're in full rebuild mode now. And that might take even a little bit longer than they thought it was going to, because the Toronto Maple Leafs got the 1st overall pick. Tell me it's not rigged without telling me it's not rigged.
Oh, you're telling me a franchise that hasn't won in our lifetimes and beyond. But I think it's the media attention Toronto gets versus the other franchises that really seems a bit skewed. They missed the playoffs, twice in 11 years and get both first overall picks those years. So
I do find it interesting with the lottery situation that teams like New York can jump up to 1st. Toronto can go from 6th best odds to get the 1st overall pick. Like, when it's Toronto, you have to say it's rigged. You know what I mean?
What's the instant reaction?
You have to. Especially I feel for Vancouver Canucks fans. Like, they had a abysmal year, one of the worst years they've ever seen, and they picked 3rd. They don't
No.
even get second. San Jose gets second.
And that's the scary thing, isn't it? That's where I'm more concerned is what San Jose is building there is looking like the most dangerous team in the CHL in a couple of years.
Oh, yeah. They're probably going to be a dynasty.
What they're building down there in Shark Country.
Is that where McDavid's going?
Well, if we're trading him anywhere, I hope we're getting San Jose's assets back.
Oh, yeah. You'll probably get a haul from them if that's the case.
You'd hope so.
But they do have a lot of great young talent. And going forward, them and the Ducks, they're probably going to be at the top of the division for quite some time.
And Vegas never goes away either.
All right, so the Oilers blow it again, and we'd be shocked if they get to the Stanley Cup final again in the next couple of years. We'll also be shocked if they keep McDavid for a couple more. You saw something that was interesting, that he was in Utah, and he unfollowed one of his sponsors on Twitter, on X.
Let's not read into the tea leaves too much.
Is he going sooner than we think? No, I think he'll stick around for the next couple of years. Even Draisaitl said, we only have 2 more years with McDavid, so we have to get this done.
Got to do it the right way, and it's unfortunate that we did take a step back, but every team's trying to win too, right? So,
yep. So we'll see what happens. Coming up on the show as well, we'll give an update on the P&H Preservation Society, the Elevator Preservation Society, as they had their 2026 AGM. And we'll also chat about some county news, some town news, and a potential development. So there's a lot on the docket today as far as local news. First off, we'll talk to Chad Dalsin. Landon will, as I'll exit my chair. Let Chad take over for a couple minutes to talk about the recent Hike for Hospice.
all right, so we have president of the Stettler Hospice Society, Chad Dalsin, on the show today. Chad, thanks for taking the time to come and visit. You guys had the Hike for Hospice this past weekend, Sunday down at West Stettler Park. Just tell us a little bit of how it went.
Yeah, so it went really well. So we managed to raise $13,525. So for fundraiser in Stettler, that's pretty spectacular.
No, that's awesome to hear. That's quite a bit of money. Some half decent weather again. Got a bit windy, but it's one event people show up for, rain or shine. You'd mentioned the weather last year there.
Yeah, the sad thing is that's probably the nicest day that we have had.
That's beginning
And
of
it would have
May.
been beautiful if it weren't for that wind, but we made the best about it and tack everything down so it doesn't blow away.
But no, it was good to hear that you guys raised that much. I do like that you include the costume elements and the prizes. Good for the folks with maybe a stormtrooper or a Grinch outfit to get out and use them for a good cause, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I think one of our biggest game changers with raising money was with the business challenge. And so, really wanted to shout out to the Attic because they raised $5,500. Out of hair salon. So that was pretty impressive. And then we also have this little group of people that like dressing up and stuff like that. And they were Jedi Storm last year and they were the Flutterbys this year. And they raised over $3,500 too. So between those two groups, it was over $9,000. So yeah, thank you to those guys.
yeah, we were invited on a tour of the hospice suite a couple years ago. I was impressed with everything that they had there. Just the private space for loved ones in their final days and just the access to care as well, just steps away at Points West there. It is good to hear the community step up for the cause because I think it's a service not a lot of people, it comes to mind for a lot of people until
Yes.
they need it, right?
Exactly. And yes, and we have, we're always trying to educate the community a little more on what we offer and everything. And we actually do have a course coming up this week that has sold out, so it's full. So just to help people learn how to deal with people at the end of life. And even if you're not even doing something like the hospice, just to help out a family member or something. So.
Yeah, I know when I was at town council this week, they had just mentioned that oftentimes in those final days, somebody may be so far along that there's a barrier for the paperwork that they were talking about.
Yes, and that paperwork can hold things up for a few days sometimes. And, at that stage in life, sometimes that's just 3 days is too much. So I know like our council and Gord Lawler and everybody's been, they're championing for us and trying to get through some of that red tape.
No, and like you said, it's a service you don't really think of till you need it. And like I said, something a lot of people in the community may not be aware that we have.
Yeah.
So
things like this are great just to get our word out. So we do appreciate you having me stop in too.
No, like I said, we were thoroughly impressed with the facility. Like I said, to have that private space, which is really what you need in those final days.
Yeah.
But also have access to medical care. I think that's hard to find.
Exactly. And then so we do have the staff from Points West, the nurses and stuff like that, take care of the guests. But then we also have 24-hour volunteers too. If somebody just needs someone to sit with someone for an hour, or family needs a break to go run and get something to eat or whatever.
No, again, great to hear you guys raise so much. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on that we didn't?
I think that about covers it. But yeah, just thank you to the community for all your guys' continued support. And the Hike for Hospice has turned into a great fundraiser for us with that business challenge that the Drummond family donates a gift card for. It just, the businesses like $5,500 blew my mind from hair salons. Yeah, stuff like that's just awesome to see.
Before I let you go, we're going to be talking housing coming up in the show, but you've been on the front lines just talking with people about the housing issue in the community. Can you just give me where we're at these days on that?
Well, it's kind of the same old story of lack of inventory in Stettler. So it makes it difficult for a real estate agent when, you got someone, for example, looking in a $400,000 price range and they have two houses to choose from. So, but it's just ever since COVID, things, in my opinion, I feel that I just feel people have kind of been wanting to get out of the cities more, getting into small towns. And then, Stettler's a small town, but for what we have to offer, with Walmart and everything else in a town this size is like pretty unheard of.
No, and it's good to see that both councils are looking at this issue, because I think it's something that's been a long time coming. We need more housing, as people need different types of housing, even if it's not so much about growing the community, but as people age, as people are looking to grow their families. I think it's about moving in the different types of housing.
It is, and then it's like the rental market too. Like pretty much every house we list, it has somebody calls this for rent. Like because there's no inventory for rentals or for buying. Like it's getting busier right now. Like there's some stuff on the market, but it's gone quick.
And again, thank you for chatting about that and for the Hike for Hospice there today.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back with more of the Heartbeat in just a moment.
Thank you guys.
All right, and we're back with the Heartbeat Stettler podcast, and once again, thanks to Chad for dropping by and talking about the Hike for Hospice. Really good numbers. Great to see the community support. Something that we have been following for quite some time, Landon, is the P&H Elevator Preservation Society and their AGMs specifically. I went to the one on April 30th, and, well, this has been a contentious issue. There have been a lot of dramatics involved, and would you like to set up the scene?
Well, like you said, it's a story we've been covering for some time. This was the third meeting that Hometown attended and filmed over on our YouTube channel. Originally, we were called to record the proceedings over issues with previous AGMs. A new board was elected to establish the bylaws, bring the society into compliance with provincial regulations. Last May, we were told a special meeting would be called, but in the year since, a second board has been formed. The meeting last Thursday, they're called to discuss the options for the original board. So,
Yeah.
tell me, Alex, what did you see?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you for, being scheduled that night at Boston Pizza and having me go all by myself.
We were originally supposed to go Tuesday, but that got rescheduled.
Yeah, that was kind of funny itself. We showed up to the location of where the meeting was supposed to be. We're like, no one's here except for an older lady and her husband. And they were like, where's the meeting? We're like, well, it's supposed to be here.
It wasn't just us that thought.
Yeah, it was them and us. And she was like, oh, I'll talk to Verna and see when the meeting was. So actually it was scheduled for the following day where Landon was busy. And I went and filmed the event. And I do want to thank them, the society, for having us there to film the AGMs, because I think that does provide a true level of transparency when you do have every word that everyone says on film and on our website, hometownmediastettler.ca. So if you're ever thinking about going back in time and checking out what happened at these meetings, it's all there. Go on our website, go in a little search bar, type in Elevator or P&H, and you'll see all the stories we've done. And it's a great way to catch up on everything that's been going on, because it's a lot, Landon. There's been a lot that's been talked about, fought about, and it's really hard to go over all of it on a platform like this, especially because even it's been going on for years and years and years, even before we started covering it.
No, there's a lot to digest here. We've certainly learned a lot about the governing processes in these meetings and types of societies, and the infighting's really unfortunate. It is a landmark in the community, and it draws people to town who want to show their grandkids and that what life was like when they were younger. Mm-hmm. And, I don't want to see it disappear. You hear about it from places where they're gone, and at the end of the day, I just want to see it get sorted, get the building fixed up, and it's really been the underlying issue from the start.
Mm-hmm. So. And I almost call it like our mascot in a sense, because even our logo for the Heartbeat has the P&H Elevator right ingrained in the heart in our logo, right? So, and you see it everywhere around town and all the imagery, lots of P&H Elevator in there. So it's such an important part of our town. It's just really kind of tragic to see all this infighting and stuff that's happening. And from my point of view, being there, I'm not someone who's necessarily in the know when it comes to all the political things and all the bureaucracy, but just as a person there, just as someone who's been in the community for many years, it was just kind of hard to see all of the dramatics and people that were their card-carrying members of this society, and they've been doing so and spending their time and their money to help fix this elevator for many, many years, sit there, unfortunately, without any possibility at this point in time to do what they are there to do, and that is preserve the elevator. So basically, if we rewind the tape just a little bit, I get there and the event starts and you've got the members there, and Brad Walgamith, the president of the board, is going over that this board has been locked out of the P&H elevator. I guess him and the owner, they couldn't come to an agreement. They couldn't come to a compromise. So the owner locked the doors on them, and then they started a brand new society themselves. So now what you have, Landon, is you have the board, the original one. I mean, they've gone through many iterations of a board, but they've got the most recent iteration of the P&H Elevator Preservation Society board. that can't actually access the elevator. And then you've got the members of the board, the card-carrying members, that now are kind of stuck in between this one and the new one. So my question is, how do we go forward with having two boards? How can you function and get grants and get anything accomplished when you have two that, for all intents and purposes, don't get along and can't come to a compromise? See what I'm saying?
No, and this is what the gist of the meeting was really about. What options does this original board have?
Right.
Do they fight this litigiously in court? Do they dissolve their society and hand over their assets? Do they, there was 4 options that presented there. And again, like I said, it's unfortunate to see this infighting, but at the end of the day, the owners had issues in getting the elevator fixed due to the board not passing these motions, but at the same time, the board has been able to apply for further grant funding due to other projects.
Right.
So,
and with there being 2 societies, that inhibits their ability to get a lot of grants too.
No, because it doesn't make sense to have dueling societies for one project. So
right.
This was another one of the options. Do they just focus on a different project and change their mandate?
So the new one is called the Stettler Grain Elevator Museum Society. And then, of course, you've got the original one. And just as someone that's lived in Stettler, a while, and talking to other residents who have been card-carrying members for quite some time, I just have to say that while talking to them, like, they feel abandoned, and they are not happy with the way this is going. Although they also said they're not surprised because it's not the first time that this infighting has happened. So my question as well is, now that they've split off and there's a new society dealing with some of this as well, those people were part of the problem originally. So is this new board, is anything going to change? Are they going to have fundraisers? Are they going to have members? How are they going to get money to fix the elevator? Is this new society for fixing the elevator, or is it more of a posturing position to say, I don't like what you're doing, so we created a new society, full stop?
Well, these are the questions we're kind of left with right now, right?
Yeah. Now, what is coming up? Like, we might have another meeting at some point to determine if they go ahead with their vote, because they did have a vote, and it looks like the people, the members, they were leaning toward dissolving the society. That's what they were leaning toward, because they had enough with all of this that has been going on the last couple of years.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty sure again, a lot of these people are seniors, right? So they've been, trying to fix the elevator, trying to raise money and support the cause for as long as they can. And I think they might just be saying that's enough is enough kind of thing. So I guess my point at the end of the day is that if a new society, if this does take over and the P&H Elevator Preservation Society ceases to exist, then that society better fix the elevator. We need it in the community. Enough's enough. No more fighting. Otherwise, let the town or someone else buy it for $1 and move on and let someone else take it over, because this isn't working.
No, and unfortunately, it's leading us to report on the infighting when we should be reporting on the restoration of the elevator.
That's right.
Unfortunately.
So we will keep you posted with all of that news, but over the last couple of AGMs, there's a lot to take in for sure.
Oh, we've learned, like I said, a lot about legislative processes.
A ton. And again, if you want to stay up to date on everything that's going on with the P&H elevator, make sure to go to our website, hometownmediastettler.ca, and you can find all of the stories that Landon has put together on there. All right, let's move on. It's time for the Town and County Council update with Landin.
Yeah, so the town of Stettler just passed its 2026 tax rate bylaw this week. That's the final step of the operating budget process. Council approved a 2% increase to residential and non-residential properties this year in a 6-1 vote. Pouring over the numbers this year, a big jump in the cost of seniors housing, as well as the payments towards education. I was at budget deliberations the week prior, and a lot of the talk centered around lowering the tax burden versus the amount of capital that the town qualifies for from other levels of government. Really, it comes down to the amount that the town spends. So homeowners will start seeing their tax notices in the coming weeks now that we're through the tax rate bylaw. And then also we're going to have a story in the coming days on a rezoning change at council over on the east side of town. An amendment has been requested by an applicant to build a high-density residential development, multi-row housing, over 4 phases. That would be on 74th Ave across from the Stettler Seed Plant next to the Homesteaders Park.
That's where that fire was, right?
Yeah, the initial documents noted the existing home on the site was to be redeveloped into an office building. However, Stettler Fire Department was called out to the site last Saturday, responding to a suspicious fire at the home. Now the council's approved the zoning change. Public hearing will be held June 2nd, before third reading, and then development permit would come after.
And you're saying it kind of looks like town housing units?
Yeah, kind of your row housing. They're kind of what you see kind of over by the golf course.
Well, good to hear. I mean, like you and Chad were pointing out, this town needs housing, and as long as I've been here, we've needed rental units and things like that. So, I mean, good to hear that there's some progress.
I mean, that means people want to move here and live here, right?
So things are, shifting and changing all the time. It seems a lot in the news recently. You've got that commercial development that they approved over by the Lottery Building, which could include a couple new restaurants, some new shops and things like that. You've got this potential new housing development. So they got some irons in the fire, as it were.
Quite a few. Over to the county. County landowners looking for pest control can sign up for the county's Strychnine Stewardship Training Program as of this week. The county has links to an online course that certifies producers to purchase strychnine for ground squirrel management. You can contact the county's Ag Service Department for more info. And it's a topic that's been brought up at council this year a couple times, noting the crop damage farmers have seen in the past without strychnine. Because it is something to mitigate the squirrel population. But we've also seen the other side, too, with vets and rescues warning about the side effects, because dogs will accidentally, ingest them, chase squirrels, as dogs do. Check out the county's social media and website for more info on that. And then finally, also wanted to mention that the county's Heartland Regional Fire, they've updated their fire advisory to a restriction as of this morning. That affects burn permit availability for area farmers and that. Residential fire pits with screens and safe wood campfires are still permitted, but looking to the forecast with the dry, windy conditions, pretty common sense. More details on our website.
All right. Thanks, Landon. Now let's look at some community events that are coming up in the near future. There's the Shimmy Mob that's coming up on May 9th, beginning at noon, right in front of the coffee tree. They are raising awareness for the prevention of family violence. So you can check them out as they dance on Main Street. The Bernie Jackson Box Office Movie Night, a brand new event developed by Carson Ellis and the Kinsmen, and Wells Furniture involved, of course. And they are showing The Princess Bride. That's at the Hub on May 9th as well at the Stettler Rec Center with 2 showings, a sensory showing at 1 p.m. and the regular one at 6. Admission is just a donation to the Special Olympics Stettler. And more in the movie realm, as the Willow Canyon Drive-In movie, those are always fun, over near Donalda, is on May 9th also. They are showing Cool Runnings, so check that out as the movie starts at dusk. So definitely a couple of options for some local movie showings. And then just like to mention that Trash to Treasure weekend, always a big popular event in Stettler, is May 16th to the 18th. Set your unwanted but usable items on your front lawn, label them as free for others to take, and remove any unclaimed items by the end of the weekend. You can set large unclaimed items in your alley for the spring lane cleanup the following week. If you have an event that you would like to have included on the podcast, you can contact info@htproductionsmedia.ca, or you can always drop by the office and bring us a poster. We also wanted to mention, too, that the Heartland radio station that we developed is in full swing now with local news, local weather, music. We decided to do a healthy mix of rock and country. We did a little bit of a survey, just talked to a few people, business owners and people listening to the radio station that had it on in their businesses. And they said what we'd want to hear is more variety, not just country music. And I guess, for us working in country music radio for so long, it just didn't feel natural to mix the two. There was always a rock station. There was always a country station. But if there's just one that people are listening to, may as well have both types of music.
I mean, I'm a fan of having a little bit of both.
A little variety.
You lean too much one way and you almost crave the other.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have it running full steam on our website as well through Live 365. So to listen to our radio station, all you have to do is download the app Live 365, search Heartland Radio Stettler. It's the only one with that name, of course. And then click it, and you can listen all day long. Set up your Bluetooth with your speaker at work and listen to the new local radio station brought to you by us over here at Hometown Productions and Media. Anything else you want to mention before we head out of here, Landon?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention the passing of Ted Turner yesterday, the founder of CNN. Something that struck me was the guy who foresaw 24-hour news nearly had his passing lost in the news cycle. I wonder if that would make him chuckle a little bit.
Yeah, it's a testament to the times, isn't it, Landon?
Well, love him or hate him, the guy was a maverick. Especially in our industry, he took on the big three news networks in the late 80s, and he was bleeding cash from expenses. But he was the only one live during the Iraq War, and that changed everything. The other networks were forced to play CNN. So it was the first time war was actually broadcast live on TV.
Interesting.
But he uses his money, buys the Atlanta Braves, streams them onto his own network, and then he buys MGM's movie catalog, turns that into Turner Classic Movies. So just incredible foresight from inheriting his dad's billboard company. CNN today, that's not what it used to be, but even he felt that. But that vision of a network that doesn't go off the air until the world ends, as he famously said, you can just see how it really influenced our media ecosystem today.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how old was he when he passed away?
87.
Yeah.
There,
so yeah, no. Incredibly influential person, especially when it comes to our industry and the news. Mm-hmm. It's interesting too that a lot of these news and media people start in advertising. I mean, I guess it's a natural progression, but
no, you look to Canada here. You look at Jimmy Pattison and everything he's built with the Pattison network there. So
that started with billboards too, I think.
Car dealership, but needing a billboard. So
yeah, I guess you start a business. How do I advertise? I'll just buy the advertising platforms and then do it that way. And then they led into radio and TV and so on and so forth.
Almost like we're doing.
Yeah, we're kind of doing it on a bit of on a micro level, but
yeah,
we'll get there, Landon.
No, I did want to thank everybody for joining us again today. It's a pleasure to bring you a show every couple weeks. And if you'd like news sent to your door too, do contact our sales team. You can get a yearly subscription to the Hometown Express. Feel like we don't tell people that enough.
Yes,
so.
You can definitely do that. You can also subscribe on our website too. Mm-hmm. So head there and click the subscribe button, pick your package, and then we will mail the magazine to you every single month. For more on these stories, once again, go to our website. We'll have news on our new radio station, Heartland Radio Stettler, as well. We have it in the Express. We have it all over the place. And on this podcast, The Heartbeat. Make sure to check us out on Spotify. We're on Facebook now live and on YouTube. And if you're on the YouTube channel right now, make sure to give us a subscribe and a like on this video. I'm Alex Mykyta. That's Landin Chambers. This is The Heartbeat Podcast. And once again, coming up this weekend, it will be Mother's Day. So make sure to spoil your mom this weekend. That's it for the show. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.